All right, hi, welcome to the Writers Business School. I'm Melissa Sherlin, and this is setting up a successful author table at an event. Uh, this is actually one of my more favorite classes to share, just because the author table is where a lot of authors start with their first appearance in the world as a real honest-to-goodness author. But really, it's your professional appearance, and we really want that to get off the right foot for everybody. So let's get started. All right. Like I said, the author's table is usually an author's first event for promoting their work. So staffing a table at a local author event, so you don't have to drive that far, about 96% of authors try that as their first attempt out. So anytime you go to an event, just know that there are some people there for the first time. And it can be daunting. Right? Of everybody at an event, only about 34% of the authors sell a book, sell one book at an event. So if you sold a book at an event, you did really, really well. Right? That's because people who go to these events aren't really going to buy books. They're going to meet the author, make a connection, find out what books are available, and then they'll go home and they'll order the book online, either on Amazon or through the publisher they were talking to. So, these author events are very important, but knowing that only 34% of people are going to sell a book and 80% of the people attending will go home and buy a book later kind of sets up the expectations a little bit differently. So what we're going to cover tonight is what actually an author table is. Table, but there are things that go on the author table, and there's a way to approach the author table so you can set yourself up for success. Then we'll talk about what goes on the author table and the fun stuff of what doesn't go on the table. Then I'll talk to you about some things you can add to your display to make it pop and get more attention. We'll talk about how to staff the table, actually what you should do when you're at these events to make it more inviting for people. And we talked about, well, I'll show you how to attract people to your table. So, when you're at the event and even before. All right, let's get going. All right, so first of all, what is an author table? Woohoo! It's a space on the table where an author is allowed to display their work. Now, yes, but really an author table is an opportunity to interact with potential readers, and then you interact with readers who like your stuff, and also meet fellow writers and authors. Okay? The interaction and the meet and greet is really the important part there because so few people are actually going to buy a book at an event. Okay? And it's a place that you can identify and help develop your public identity. You can call it your brand, but think of it like the feeling you want to leave people with when they're interacting with you. You want to increase that public appearance or public identity. All right, so what goes on the table? Now, there are some bare necessities. And so bare necessities are you need like 3 copies of each book you have in print. Okay? Yes, you should have some copies of the book if you've created the book and you're there hoping to sell at least 1 copy. And then 50 business cards. Okay? Now, when you have a business card, please make sure your contact information is on there. Your social media contacts, your email address, where to buy your books. A lot of people, they don't get business cards for every single book. That's perfectly fine. But like a link to your Amazon page where it lists your books, or you can just get like a sticker and put it on the back of your business card with your most recent book. That's a way to save some money, but definitely make sure you have contact information on the business cards. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to these fun local events and I'll collect cards, and half the time there is no contact information. Beautiful cards with absolutely no contact information that's useful. So keep that in mind. Okay? Right. Also, you want to set up the items on your table to allow for interaction between the author and the person who wants to meet the author. Okay? Yes, you're going to be an author. You have a book. Yay! Authors need readers. And the people that are attending these events are readers. They've rearranged their day to attend this event. So you want to interact with them and make it easy for them to interact with you. Okay? So, it's my lovely, you see that I'm a writer, not an artist with this lovely graphic, but this is the table you've been giving. You've been giving like a little tiny piece of a table. Okay? These are the bare basics. There's you, all nice and happy with the, ooh, I have a table, right? There's one book, there's another book, there's your third book, right? The series, right? And some business cards. Okay? You're human, so you might want some water. And you'll be meeting some really interesting people, so you'll want a notepad because they're going to share some really great information with you. You're like, oh, let me go check that out. Okay? Or they might give you their email address for you to put them on your email list. So definitely have that there. Okay, that's basically all you need. Okay, you can dress it up, you can dress it down, but that's the basics. Okay? So this is an example of a good table. This is Jonathan Mayberry. He has a lovely table, and you see Jonathan is a New York Times bestselling author, a Bram Stoker winner. He's considered one of the best horror writers today. If you haven't seen this guy around or haven't read his stuff, go to his website. He is absolutely wonderful. And let me break down what he's doing so well on his table. I mean, yes, he's, award-winning and Bram Stoker and everything, but that's because he's doing so many things right. Okay? So, the first thing, this little zone area, this is his books, and he's got his 3 books lined up. He's got some little trinkets that people can take and pick through as they're waiting for him to sign their book, okay? Or the book, right? You have him, and every picture I've seen of this guy, except for one, because he was at events, not just hanging out, he's wearing a tropical shirt, very, very relaxed. It's part of his brand. It's part of his image that he's portraying. Okay? And he got a really good seat because he loves being surrounded by books. It looks like a picture of him in his office that way. Okay? But most importantly, down in the front, those books, in the very front, those are his readers' books. He has a little area so that people are standing in front of him. They have space to put their things down and interact with him. So he can, they can fiddle with his giveaways, okay? But he can also interact, okay? And also notice he's got his water there, he's got his snack there, he's got his notes, right? He's got a whole bunch of pens because they always get stolen. Notice they're not fancy pens. It's just probably where, the pens he's collected himself from like getting his car fixed and stuff, okay? It's just pens disappear, so have a big stash. All right. All right. Ooh. And I can tell that the traffic flow is going across from right to left because they drop things down. Probably like a little assembly line. You want to be aware of the traffic flow in your area too and set it up so that people can put things down and, there's a flow to it. Okay? All right. Next is what to add to make your display pop. Well, gee, I'm not Jonathan Mayberry, so like people aren't just going to queue up in front of my spot. Okay? I need to draw them in. Okay? Well, when you draw them in, make sure you have a professional appearance, okay? If you've been to these events, you'll see some people go way overboard and some people go way minimal, okay? Whichever side of the spectrum you want to fall on, you want to remember that, just make it clean and in line with the feeling you want people to have. So, a tablecloth is great. You don't need a tablecloth. It can be done without a tablecloth. I love a tablecloth because it hides everything neatly behind the table so I can have extra snacks. And when my business partner Rona and I go to events as the Writers Business School, we always have like fun little free giveaways underneath, stashed under there. So I love having a tablecloth. Okay. Book stands are also nice because it puts some levels into the display. Now, when you look at book stands and levels, you don't have to go to some store and spend like $15 on a specific book stand, okay? You can either have like a little stack of books and put one in front as a book stand standing up, or all those dish holders, you can get them for like $1 at the craft store. Those are perfectly good sized book holders also, okay? And when you're looking at different levels and stands, think of it as a display at a store, because what your author table is actually like a little pop-up store. Okay? So whatever your ideal reader, however they're used to getting products at the store, maybe from their favorite stores, try to use that look on your table as well, because your ideal reader will be used to seeing it, and they'll be more likely to buy if they're comfortable in that space. Okay? A business card stand, again, that's great. Some people like their business cards up on a nice little stand. Some people scatter them on the table. Whichever way you choose, you just want to make sure that it's easy to grab. You don't want to have people fumbling for the card. Yeah. Okay, and then, like I said earlier, like stickers on the back of your business card with the information about your current book and how they can buy it online. Now, you do want them to buy at the event, but only 20% of the people who attend the events want to buy a book there. 80% are going to go home and buy like within that week. Okay, so you're competing against everyone at the event on that person's computer at home. You want them to remember, oh yeah, that really great author. They had this really neat book that I was going to try to remember and buy. Okay, if they pull out your business card and they see all that lovely information of how to get your book online on the card, the sale is going to be a lot easier for you. Okay? All right. Now, some more things to add to your display. Now, the other slide, there was a picture of a huge room with lots and lots of tables. That's not going to be the first place most people show up at one of these local events. Usually local events look like the picture on this slide, where you've got a few people milling around, the tables are all empty, lots of tall things. It's not as hectic, okay? But the professional appearance still matters, okay? And along with the tablecloth and the book stands and the card holders, okay? You want to have some little giveaways, pens, candy, info sheets. Rona's sons, she has been doing this a lot longer with kids than I have. And her kids consider these events as indoor trick-or-treating year-round. So they will actually go with bags just to get the candy. And I have to say that is a great way to go around the event and get some good candy. So, you know, that's always nice. And also starts up a conversation because you're trying to get the interaction with the readers in the event. Okay. All right. Also, for a professional appearance, you want an email sign-up sheet. Now, you've probably been to these events and seen a lot of email sign-up sheets on tables. Most of the time, when people are presented with an email sign-up sheet, hey, we're having this chat, do you want to join my sign-up, my email list? People will, automatically sign up. It's a great way to increase the list. And I'm going to give you a bonus at the end of this. It shows you actually what to do with those emails and how to keep it going, so you turn those, you know, potential fans into real fans that come back to your next event. Okay? But that's an important thing to have. Okay? Also, those lovely electronic card readers, they are so wonderful. If you only accept cash, not many people walk around with cash. So having an electronic card reader, people can buy what they want to buy easily. It's wonderful. They hook up to a smartphone. If you don't have a card reader, you know, maybe you can attend with an organization that has one and make some kind of agreement with them. because it'll make your day a lot more fun and easy. Okay. All right, so this is another picture I'm showing you. This is just a really wonderful example of an author table. This is Jerry Hanel. There's his website, jerryhanel.com. And I put this picture here because he gave the most wonderful quote. And here it is, right from his site. Several of you have asked how my book signing event went. It was phenomenal. I sold enough to cover the cost of the hard candies I purchased and had a chance to talk with people I haven't seen in ages. I even had some old high school friends drive all the way across the state just to stop by and say hello. That is absolute success for any author event setup. Now, you might be laughing right now, but he and I both agree that is phenomenal. One, you know, he sold at least one book to cover those Jolly Ranchers that he's given away, right? He had a chance to talk to people he hasn't seen in a while, so he definitely made a connection and was chatting with people, had a great time, and he prepared his readers and friends and family and everybody early enough in advance that some people drove all the way across the state just to come by and say hi. Now, that is wonderful. That means his efforts are working, okay? So there you go. All right, so now you're looking at his stuff and you're like, well, you know, I just signed up like for this event. I heard it was going on. I signed up like 2 weeks ago. It's like in a week and a half, and there isn't going to be much, you know, build-up. I've put it out everywhere. So, you know, I don't know what to do, though. I've got my stuff together. How should I put my table together? That's what the next slide is for. Okay? All right. So let's just imagine that you have a lovely author table. You're like, yay, I have an author table. You have your books out there. You have your tablecloth, right? And you're like, you know what? I have my pen. I'm going to hide my water under the table so no one sees that I'm human and I need to drink or anything. You know, just have it nice and straight and clean. Well, gee, you know, I have a couple of books on the table, but if I sell out, I don't want people to think that I'm sold out, so I better put a whole bunch of books. Well, that looks nice. We'll just add some more and some more. Pretty soon you're walling yourself off from the people who are trying to interact with you. Right? You're like, well, I didn't want them to think I was out of books. All right, then, you know, hey, I have some business cards. Let me put them over there neatly so people can grab them. Right? And then, oh, I have some nice postcards that came and it's the same design, so I'm going to stuff them over there too. Right? Oh, and you know what? I got some pens with a picture of my book on it and some contact information. I'm going to put it right there so they can grab it while they're thinking about getting a book. There's a little space over there, so, you know, let me put this little piece of paper in the display and tell them about like this next anthology I have coming out. The book wasn't ready yet, but it's coming out and they can order it later. Yeah, that's great. But there's another space. Let's add another one. Okay. See, it's getting really, really cluttered, and the author is starting to barricade themselves in the front away from all of the interaction with readers. Right? Well, yes. Well, I wanted to make it friendly, though, so let's add some stuffed animals or whatever little trinket that goes along with the book. Okay? Now you see they're wrapped around on 3 sides like a horseshoe, and then boom! Well, let's put a background display because I saw someone else had one and it looked really great. Okay? I've seen this so many times, and when you go to your next event, look around, there will be someone set up like this. They're trying too hard. Okay? At an event, you want interaction with the audience. Even if it's scary, put on your I'm a professional author look and, you know, interact with people that are there to meet authors. Okay? This poor person has blocked themselves off from the front and the sides. They can't even interact with the author sitting beside them. And they've blocked themselves out from the back. So maybe someone has read your book or read the book you did before, was really looking forward to meeting you, but now they can't even tell if you're available because you're hiding behind a big screen in the back, if they're behind you on the tables all lined up, okay? So, tone it back, okay? All right. When people have more space, they're like, well, it didn't look good on that small table, but I've talked to the organizer, and this time I get a bigger table, and it's going to be so much better because I can put more stuff on it. It's just how people think. It's funny. Notice the traffic flow is going across the screen from right to left. Okay? And here's the happy person, yay! They have their tablecloth and they are ready, they set up. Now, when you set up your event space, you want to imagine a triangle on the table, okay? I call this the zone of interaction. It's like a little landing strip that kind of funnels people into the author, okay? And you want to make sure that this little triangle of interaction, if you will, it's low and you can reach across it either to shake hands or hand people things, get hugs from friends, okay? You want this area to be nice and low. Okay? You can put a couple of books across, just so they can see what you have available. Don't do 110 though, okay? Just a couple. Right? You want your business cards so they can, pick one up. Right? You want your water on the table. If you're chatting with people and having a good time, you're going to get thirsty. Let them see you're human, okay? That'll actually help sales if people think you're human. Right? Also, you'll be interacting with lots of interesting people, and they'll like your stuff. They're going to share wonderfully interesting information with you, okay? And there will be people saying, oh, well, I hadn't heard about that. So you can say, oh, let me take your contact information, and I can share this information I just found. I'll send you the link, or I have it in an email. Let me forward it to you. Okay? That happens all the time. You're going to need something to write it down on, okay? Give them your pencils and pens if you want to, okay? But again, it's the traffic flow, so you want it to be as the further past your table, if you will, like after the books they've seen, okay? Okay, same thing with all the little stuffed animals or little trinkets associated with characters in your book or whatnot. Let them toil with them and play with them and move them around and stuff on that side of the table, okay? Yes, you can have your, hey, this book is coming out in a month or, whatever. Maybe you have an online contest going on. Okay, you can put that on your table. Okay, again, not in the triangle of interaction. And you want to have it up a little bit. Okay, it's up on a little lever. The thing, level. The things in the back of the table are actually a little higher than the things in the front of the table. And the items in the triangle are very low and flat. Okay. If you have more than one, you can put it on the other side. Again, trying to balance out so it is narrowing people or funneling people towards the author. Okay? Now, if you have tons of books and you're like, well, I don't want to have just 3, you can have a little inventory sitting on the table. Okay, you can stack them up neatly with like one book sitting in front of like 3 so people can see the books you have, and you can reach over and grab one when someone wants to buy it. So you don't have to strain that much, okay? But notice it's off to the side. It's not the first thing people see. They still have this area where they can interact with you, okay? Most importantly, on your table is a place for your readers' books or whatever paraphernalia they've accumulated, okay? Now, designate an area for this while you're setting up your table, okay? And notice this little square should be in the corner of the triangle, close to where the reader will be starting, okay? It's just more invitingly placed there. Now you can tell, maybe, the person doesn't, maybe they're so excited seeing an author that they don't realize they have this lovely open space on the table, and you'll still see people start to like shuffle items from like one hand to the next. What they're trying to do when they're doing that that is a just natural signal that this person is trying to put down what they have so they can pick up new information from you. Okay? Even if they're just chatting, they want to let go of this stuff they have and get something from you. So give them that space. They'll put their stuff down, maybe not even realizing it because it was so easy for them, and you'll have a better interaction. Okay? The more interaction, the more fun, more likely they are to remember you, buy a book, or go home and buy your book. Okay? Right. Also, you're having this fun interaction. People have put their stuff down. You can actually have a sign-up sheet close to them. Okay. Now, I put it on the right side because most of the people are right-handed. Okay. But that's why we put it on the right side. But that's the email thing. Hey, for more information, sign up on my email list. Okay. Now, you can have the banner in the background. Okay. You can. Also, you can add your postcards and your business cards. Again, keep the business cards and the postcards, whatever free giveaways you're giving, to the left of your reader's book area and of that triangle of interaction. Okay? Again, keep it low so you can reach across and interact. Okay? Don't build a wall and scare everything. Okay? All right. So let's go on to how to staff a table. And I love this picture of let's party because really that's what it is. If you don't like being out in the world, just put on your I'm a professional author persona and try to interact. Okay? But how to staff a table? You want to start even before the attendees arrive, okay? You want to get your table set up, of course, but you also want to chat with the other authors who are brave enough to come out into the world as authors and talk to them, okay? They've been on a very similar path as you, even if they've had more success or less success, or they've been at it longer, or, maybe they've only been at it for a couple of months and this is their first event ever, okay? Authors take similar learning curves in their path, and it's nice to get out there and talk to others. Okay? Also, when you're talking to others, you can, find out their interests, so you can kind of like direct traffic when readers come by. Maybe they don't like your stuff, but hey, you know what? I was talking earlier to an author, and they're like 3 tables that way. They love that topic. They were talking my ear off about that earlier. That reader is going to make a beeline for that table, and they'll also like you more for helping give them that information that they wanted, okay? So, staffing the table starts before the event and the attendees even arrive, okay? You set up, you mingle, you meet your neighbors, okay? It's not just so you can say, hey, I'm an author too, isn't that great? But it's so you can see what they're interested in. Maybe if you're talking to them and you both have similar interests, well, maybe you're both trying to target similar readers and you could like join up and do things together so that your books get out farther into the world. Okay? Okay. When you're standing there at the table and people are mingling by, what do? Right? Well, the easiest thing to do is say, oh, hi, and then ask the attendees about themselves. Okay, some simple starters are, oh, are you having a good time? What's the neatest thing you've seen so far today? Okay, these are just ways to ask them questions, not like huge delving questions, but just questions to get them interacting. Okay. You want to have an approachable smile or a neutral face. If you don't naturally smile, then your smile might look like a grimace, which could scare people. Okay, so practice the neutral face. Okay, you just want to appear approachable. Whatever approachable means to you, if you find it approachable, then your ideal reader will most likely find it approachable also. Okay? Okay. Also, you want to have a few factoids ready for your favorite topic so you can pass them out. Okay? At Writers Business School, we talk about platform. And this is the topic that you're most passionate about. And then we show you how to use that topic to expand everything in your writing career and actually make it more fun and a lot easier to get your books and marketing and promotions and all that stuff out into the world. My platform is around healthy communications. I actually run a nonprofit where I teach women healthy communication skills. And I've talked at schools and whatnot about healthy communication and non-bullying and stuff like that. I always have a few factoids that I pick up just because I love this topic. I'll pick up a factoid or two every day about it. Sharing those factoids and information about the topic you love, it brings energy to the day, but also if someone milling around the event also likes the same topic and enjoys it as much as you do, they will probably love your book. And if they don't, like read your genre or whatever, they probably know someone who will. And because they have an equal passion and connection with you through this topic, they will make sure that the person who might like it will get a copy of it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay? Also, you want to relax. The attendees are there at the event to meet authors, and you're an author. So have fun and enjoy all the time. You're interacting with people and other authors in the world. Just relax. Try to enjoy the time. Remember, ask questions. Keep a neutral face, okay? If you do sit down, don't slump in the chair and make it like you don't want to be there, okay? That goes on to the how not to staff a table, okay? Now, my picture is of a burnt out building because if you don't staff a table well, people remember it, okay? I think of staffing a table like a clean house, right? When a house is like really clean and pristinely clean, nobody cares. You don't really get rewards or even noticed for having a clean house. But like, you know, that one time that somebody comes over and the house looks like something exploded inside because it's just been so hectic, that's what people remember. Okay? So, you know, when you do well hosting a table, you know, even like marginally, nobody really remembers unless they're having a great time. But at least they know, hey, at least they were fun. If the reader didn't have a good time interacting with you at this event or this table, they're going to remember forever, which is strange. So how not to staff a table, okay? Don't hide behind your display. Now, yes, I showed you how to set up your table, and you know, okay, it might get a little cluttered, but make sure you still have that triangle of interaction, okay? At least get that in there, okay? And don't hide. And also don't look around and see people hiding behind their display and like snicker or anything. You know, I'm gonna go and help them set up their little table too, okay? But don't hide behind your display, and definitely don't crouch down behind it. As the day wears on, some people seem to like, you know, crouch down and hide. Okay, don't do that. It's only a couple hours. Smile. Okay, you can do this. If you're having fun, more people will come by. Okay, but don't pounce on the attendees. Okay, don't be that salesperson you hate. Okay, when you see someone walking by and they're like, don't be like, oh my gosh, hi, how you doing? This is great. Buy my book. Okay, don't do that. Okay, don't be the salesperson that you don't want to be. A simple, hi, how are you? You know, have you had fun yet today? Okay? Okay. Don't be the salesperson you hate. Don't keep saying, oh, buy my book, this book is awesome, buy my book, oh, here's a copy of my book. Okay? Interact with them, okay? Get some kind of a connection with them. Oh, I'm an author. I like to write about this thing. What do you like to read about? All right, what do you enjoy reading? Oh, neat. Okay, whatever, you know, and then a question that builds off their answer. Don't just be like, this is what I write. What do you read? Oh, you don't read my stuff? Well, buy my book anyway. Okay, that's being the salesperson that nobody likes. Okay? So, next, I'm going to talk about how to attract people to your table, because you are not going to be that smarmy salesperson. You're going to have fun and energize the area, okay? So you want to be approachable and have fun. Now, yes, that's why a lot of people do have toys on their tables, because it's fun and it keeps them having fun so that they, what do you call that? So that they stay energized, okay? Also, you can have giveaways, pen, paper, business card, candies. Those are really standbys. The Writers Business School, what we teach people is to do like a one-page info sheet on something you're passionate about, okay? Or something based on what's going on in the book. One of our friends, she writes historical, political romances. It's very, very genre specific, but it's all about like the intrigues of court. And we had her, well, I helped her make a one-page handout on how people are using fans in the courts of Europe, and how holding your fan at a different angle meant different things. And she printed like 80 copies, and they were gone in a matter of like 15 minutes because people were like, oh my gosh, did you hear about at Sonia's table? She's got this thing on fans and what they mean, and it shows you how to make a fan. They went like hotcakes. He actually sold a couple books that day. But that's how to get people to your table. Okay. Some people do, attracting people to your table by having some fun, I don't know, item. So many times there are antique typewriters at tables. Those are lovely if you like writing and words and all those fun things. I love them. But not many non-writers love awesome antique typewriters. So if you want to attract authors, definitely do the old typewriter. Love it. But if you're trying to attract readers, pick something you're passionate about, like how Sonia did the one page on what fans meant in the royal courts of England or Europe. And yeah, the people that connect with that idea will flock to you. Okay? Also, before the event, you want to get the word out online. Like, hey, everybody, I'm going to be at this event. Come on and see me. Okay? You can post on social media while you're okay? And you can give a secret code to whomever comes by and says, hey, if you tell me this secret code, I'll give you this free whatever. Okay? Special little freebie. Okay? The freebie could be like, I don't know, a 3-page handout, or it could be a short story, just like you've printed out at home a few copies because you're, however many people you're expecting, okay? When you do post on social media that you will be somewhere, don't make that your only post, okay? If you aren't actively and consistently on some form of social media, don't make your first post, hey, I'm going to be at this event. Come and see me and buy my books. Okay? Don't do that, because you're going to sound like that friend that only wants to hang out with you when they need something from you. Okay? Don't be that person. We don't like hanging out with them, so don't make your readers hang out with them either. Okay? We suggest for every, let's say you have 7 posts, in 7 posts, you can have, one post that's about buy my book or come see me at an event. Okay? So the more useful information you put out into the world that people can find value of, between your, hey, buy my books, I'm going to be here selling my books, you'll get actually more people to come to your events and actually want to hang out with you and talk to you. Okay? Next, okay, what are special freebies? This might be a question someone has written down because we get this question a lot. What are special freebies? Okay, they're free. That means they shouldn't cost any money for the person that's rearranging their day to come see you. They've already put out enough of going and making arrangements with whatever things they have to do to get to the event. Okay. But it's also free for you, okay? Your special freebies are a reward for the person who has specifically come out to see you, okay? Anybody's having a hard day getting out of the house, some days it is just crazy, but these people have done that to come see you. So it's a reward for people who plan ahead, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to feel personal, okay? Now, I mentioned it earlier that, this event is a way to work on your personal brand as an author, your image as an author. The feeling is the brand. So however you want people to feel about you, 80% of purchases are made using emotion, how somebody feels, okay? And Rona jokes that the other 20% is logic trying to give a reason for feeling the way that they wanted to buy things. So you want it to feel personal so that the person interacting with you who has put out all this energy feels that it's worthwhile putting out this energy with you, okay? Make it feel personal. So whatever your ideal reader would find personable or personal, use that, okay? My ideal reader is someone who likes healthy communication. It's a woman. I know my readers, okay? I give out the 5 stages of a healthy communication and how to do it. I give out feeling lists. I give out 30-day challenges because it's fun for my readers and we have a good time. But I have another friend who he writes gory horror. His fans don't care about that. They want to know how to survive in a zombie apocalypse. So freebies for him would be top 10 things to pack in your bulk bag and survival techniques. Okay, those are some good giveaways for him. My ideal readers don't want that. Okay, but each would feel personal to the groups they're intended for. Okay, so think of your ideal reader, and you can come up with your freebie for them. Okay, it can be a code for a free download of a short story. Okay, it could be a piece of flash fiction, an opportunity to beta your new work. Okay, just give them a secret code on social media, and say, if you tell me this thing, or print out this coupon, or whatever, however you want to know it was them, they saw you on social media, you want to give them a prize. Okay, scratch ticket. If you're not expecting too many people, a scratch ticket's a fun thing to do. There are some companies that'll actually create scratch tickets for you and put your own prizes in there so they can scratch it off and get a prize. It's kind of fun. All right, here's the bonus. We have 15 minutes left, and I'll give you the bonus. The real reason to attend is any of these events is you want to create a mailing list so you can make super fans, okay? It's the one thing you can do at an event to make you more attractive to a large publisher, okay? And at in-person events, it's the fastest way to do this. Now, the reason I'm saying that creating an email list of superfans will make you more attractive to a large publisher is because publishers know how many people they can sell to. And using your email list of superfans or people who are interacting with you, they can use their skills with these new people who like to buy stuff, and they can get, let's say you have 8,000 people on your superfan list, and that should be your goal. Right now, it could be 20 people that mostly family and relatives. All right, that's a good starting place. But where you want to get to is about 8,000 people on your email list playing and interacting with you regularly. Because at that 8,000 point, that's when you become very, very attractive to larger publishers, because they know how to turn that 8,000 into 1.2 million readers. And that's how the bestsellers list, the New York Times bestseller list, keeps going round and round, okay? There's a whole process to the Writer's Business School, but for right now, okay, in-person events, 80% of the people who are attending are going to run home and buy a book, only 34% of the people, at the event are going to sell one copy of a book. So really, when you attend, think about getting your mailing list together, okay? And this personal event is the fastest way to do that, okay? Let me show you how to make it work, okay? You need a sign-up list. That little piece of paper sitting to the right where someone has dropped their, accumulated stuff from the show. Put it down. You want the piece of paper on their right side ready to write their name and email, okay? The more information you ask, the less you're going to get. So large publishers want an author to have an online following of 8,000 people or more. I already told you that, right? This is because for each book coming out, those 8,000 people will connect to others exposing your book to over 1.2 million people. Collecting emails from people interested in your book or the factoids that you're an author, it'll help reach the 8,000 mark. Okay, now you can't just go and shake down people at the grocery store for emails. Okay, if people have attended an author event, that means that they have self-selected as interested in reading, which is really important, because if people like to read, that means they probably also collect books in any form, which means they're probably more likely to collect your book in any form. Okay, so these events have selected people who like to hear about authors and what they do. So collect emails, make that the basis of your 8,000 emails, okay? And to get the emails, you want to train them. You want to trade the person something of value for the email that they're going to give you, because you are going to find their email valuable. So you want to trade something of equal value, okay? So what I do is I trade a monthly factoid on communication, or just, it's like 3 sentences. I send it out to my group of awesome ladies, and that's what I do, okay? Other people will trade coupon codes for their next book, like 20% off, or a free book if they buy this one, okay? Or an opportunity to beta read your next book, okay? Whatever you think a good trade is for that email, okay? I suggest the monthly factoids because it's monthly interaction with the people, but whatever you're ready for, okay? Okay, so to recap, questions answered, okay? Only 34% of authors attending these events will sell a book to the people swarming around, okay? That's kind of gut-wrenching the first time you hear it, and I'm sorry, but that's just the truth, okay? 80% of the people swarming around the events will go home and buy the book online, okay? So really what you want to do is you want to gear your presence at the event to make it fun to interact with people so that they remember you. Hopefully they'll join your email list because they're having so much fun with you. And you want to make it easy for them to go home and order your stuff online. Okay? Whoops, I went backwards. There we go. Okay? This means that your plan for the person event should be to get as many people you know from the digital world to show up in real life. Yes. Let people know you're going to be out in the real world. But when you let them know, don't just make that the only thing you tell them. Don't say, come over here and buy my book. Okay? Put some other posts around the web on the topic you like, or some little factoid about the book, or something interesting to the people who would also find your book interesting. Okay? And then when you're at the event, you want to collect as many emails as you can from the people milling around and thank them. Okay? You just want to, the idea is not to shake them down for their email so you can get to the 8,000 mark. The idea is to build a connection with these people who, they'll go home hopefully and buy your book. They'll like it so much they'll tell their friends and they'll come back and buy your next book. Okay? So it's to make a connection. We write books to connect with people, not necessarily to sell to people. So keep that in mind at these events. Okay? All right, really quickly. So do you guys have any questions about what I covered? You can just type it into the question area, the little chat box, and I will answer them. And we have a couple of questions. It's about carts to bring things into the event. Okay, I've seen people with like wonderful carts, folding down and not folding down. They just pile all these things on and drag it in and out. I love carts because I don't like lifting heavy things. When I do an event, though, I should probably just have pictures of this. I have a really thin plastic crate that I can actually hide underneath my couch. It's so thin that I have for all of my candy dishes and my book holders and the tablecloth and whatnot. It's pretty small, and I have a very small car also. I have a subcompact, and everything fits in the trunk. I am a notoriously minimalistic packer. So certainly if you want to bring lots of books, have a tablecloth, hide them under the table, and then, put them on the table, like just the few, like I showed in the examples, but don't build the wall of books, okay? That stops the interaction, and really when you're setting up for these events, you want the interaction to be there. That's why people are attending the event. They want to interact with authors. So give them that interaction, and they're more likely to buy your book or go home and buy your book. All right. Any other questions? Question is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. You'll get a link with the follow-up email. Great. All right. Any other questions? Can you go back to the slide with the triangle? All right, let me find it. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Let me go back to end show. Go back to the slide sorter. You guys get to see the background. Okay. The triangle. Okay, this is the one with the triangle. All right. Is this the one you're talking about? Yes. All right. Yeah, so the triangle is just, it's just that area. And you want it to be low. Roan and I, we've set this up, and we actually had an argument over whether I should show real people doing this poorly or just build the triangle up. We decided to use the triangle method, okay? But really, you want to keep everything in front of the author towards the reader. You want to keep it low so you can reach over. If you have to kind of like dive over the table or kind of crawl over something, it's too high, okay? Anything taller than like a coffee mug is too high, okay? And yeah, just, put things on the side, there's a whole science to the placement of items, psychology and marketing. If you're wondering how to set things up, walk around and look at the ones that make you feel the most comfortable, or go to your favorite stores at the mall. It's called merchandising, and you'll see trends. So definitely take that as homework. All right, and then let me end show and go back to this one. Okay. I'll click all the way through. Okay, there we go. All right, and there's another question. What are some things you can do that would make it more natural for someone to want to sign up for your mailing lists? Okay, great question. We actually have a free class coming up on this about ways to reach out to your ideal readers. I think it's next week. If I go to the next slide, I can tell. But some things to make it more natural for someone to want to sign up for your email list. I'm guessing you don't just want to shake them down for their email. You want them to feel like they're getting some kind of value out of it. The easiest way to do that is to become seen as an authority on your favorite subject. My favorite subject is healthy communication. That's my platform. I'm considered an expert, a regional expert on that. It's taken me about 5 years to build that. And so I make it really hard for people to get to my email list. They actually have to interact with me 4 times before I even suggest that, hey, why don't you sign up for my email list for my communication stuff. But if you're an event and you're like, hey, I want to send you, some information. What information can be useful? Lots of authors say, hey, sign up for my list and I will send you a newsletter about upcoming events. That's not really exciting. And you can think, well, Stephen King does it. But Stephen King's newsletter has some cool information on it beyond what he's pimping out that month. Okay, he gives information on like pop trivia and food and just pop culture. And so if you like those things, along with liking scary stories, it's a wonderful mailing list to be on. Okay, so don't make whatever you're giving them just about your book. Make it about your favorite topic. Right? If you wrote a book on, like, I don't know, I have a lot of friends who write horror and post-apocalyptic stuff and fighting and weird things. One guy, his character had this like really fancy sword, but he spent months and months and months researching about this special sword and actually has spent probably years collecting information on swords. So his platform is about, craftsmanship of swords, and he shares information on that topic because he's always finding more information about it, and so he loves sharing information about it. And people will sign up for his email list knowing that they'll get more information about this favorite topic that they also share. Does that answer the question? Okay. All right. All right. Any other questions? All right. Cool. It doesn't seem like we have any more questions, so let me go to the final slide. Ugh, what's next? Okay, next week's free class is identifying your ideal readers. It's the start of your active fan base. You can actually tell who you're looking for. Okay? In January, our free Wednesday classes are every Wednesday. We have them scheduled out to like mid-February. In January, we're going to start our pay classes, and we're actually getting a list of classes together since we have so much information we want to share with you guys. So if you have any topics you'd like to hear about, we have an email survey going out, but also you can send requests to us at Gmail. Join us over on Facebook, and we'll keep this conversation going, okay? There's our website, writersbusinessschool.com. And if you have any questions, just email them to us at writersbusinessschool@gmail.com. All right, great. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.